Hello, Helen McNab here from ScorePlus, here to tell you what students will cover and what they will learn by attending our Scoring Making It Work, our entry-level seminar. Straight in then, we will talk about the principles of scoring. We will help people understand how we get from data for candidate characteristics for scorecard development all the way through to putting a scaled scorecard together. We will cover topics such as defining populations, what is a good account, what is a bad account, and we will use odds as our ways of understanding risk within the population and within our different characteristics. Once we have a scorecard, we'll help our delegates understand how we will evaluate the strength of a given scorecard. My favourite here, the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, or the KS for short, but we'll also cover information value, divergence, and the industry standard, the Gini curve and coefficient. We will look at our scorecard properties and understand the relationship between the risk as defined by odds and the way that translates into the usable business value of the score. We will take a look at that risk to score relationship and we'll examine it in terms of the angle of this slope. Sometimes we refer to that as the PDO, the points to double the odds. So again, in this seminar, we will be telling people about the acronyms that they will meet and the meanings of those acronyms. Accuracy of our data around that line. So our diamonds, we will explain, are the odds of candidates in given scores and how this blue line is a line of best fit through those actual independent points, and to understand the degree to which our scorecard is going to be accurate. We'll also reflect on the intercept, the placement of that line on the page to look at the overall quality of the population we're looking at. Why will we look at this? Well, we need to be secure, given that we are, our message will be that we are betting the bank on this scorecard, we're making our decisions based on this scorecard, and we will use this to create some expectations against which to measure the actual results that we'll experience. Our focus will primarily be on application scoring, new business, and how we will use the risk to score relationship, our model, to make those decisions. One of the ways we'll look at this is to think about a given risk threshold. We can think about that as the risk appetite of the organisation for this particular decision and how that can translate into our cutoffs. We'll also think about the operating assumptions that need to be defined and how that is not an exact science, but that's going to reflect what's happened in the past, types of candidates that we might be looking to recruit in the future, and how we think the economy and competition, the wider outlook, is going to bring an influence on our decision making. So operating assumptions, our risk appetite, and we will also delve into concepts such as the risk on return on risk adjusted capital, all of which will help us understand where to place our cutoffs and how to influence our pricing policy. That's one way. We'll also reflect on the trade-off between risk and rewards using our strategy curves and look at these little diamonds here on the curve here representing our trade-off opportunities, acceptance against bad rates, giving ourselves some examples where lower acceptance rates are going to give better bad rates, whereas higher acceptance rates will push up our expected bad rates, the proportion of people who might not pay us particularly well. Having done all that, we'll use some case studies to do some more scorecard evaluation, asking ourselves, does the score still work? Again, bringing in this idea that we have some standards from our scorecard, which are reflected in this particular case on the red line, and we will compare that against some actual performance for a given cohort of debt, and ask ourselves, well, why are the two lines not lying on top of each other? Are we concerned about the accuracy of the scorecard, the data points around the line? Are we happy with the slope on this? And to do this, to unravel this, we will think about the problem in terms of how do we acquire these accounts? What did the applicant population look like? We will introduce the ideas of how to measure that, in this case using again the KS statistic and graph, and try and get people to really understand why we get population shifts, what drives that. We look at marketing, we look at pricing, we look at data. Most of all, what is the anticipated impact? The other types of problems we'll look at are overrides. and we will discuss why these happen. We'll look at scores in the context of the wider policy. And again, why do we have customers who are accepted below cut-off, or people who are above cut-off who we then decide to decline? And what will the impact be on our bad debt, our revenues, our customer service, and so on? Wrapping this together then, in terms of our monitoring, we'll introduce ideas of portfolio evaluation using vintage matrices, and these are going to be really critical in the months and years following the coronavirus situation, where we are probably anticipating that cohorts of debt will increase in risk, and we'll be using our life cycle curves, our new account effects and the portfolio effects to explain how we can anticipate those trends, and therefore how we can respond as businesses to those issues. So yes, this is a seminar about scoring, but it's going to be placed always in the context of the business, that this is a business management tool, and we'll talk about the role of policy management in terms of defining some of our key parameters, such as risk appetite, and how line management and operations as the first line of defense for credit risk will deliver our decisions to our customers. We've spent a lot of time thinking about how our scorecards are put together and how we can build strategies using the statistics so that they deliver on the objectives of policy management. And because we're using statistical techniques, we will spend a lot of time in our seminar talking about monitoring, evaluation and tracking. And this will involve us looking at two ways. One, looking at the models themselves. How are they performing? Are they in line with expectation? And also looking at whether our policies are delivering on the objectives set by our senior management. So again, that's going to bring together the techniques themselves with the overall business goals of the organisation. Where can you find out more information? It's all on our website, ScorePlus.com, and you can contact us through our training email, and you can register directly on our website. Thank you for your attention, and look forward to seeing some of your delegates very soon.